Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to today's evening Bhagavad Gita class. On behalf of Vaman Kshetra, I would like to welcome everyone for our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are reading from chapter number 4, verse number 4 onwards. First of all, we will just sing Jai Radha Madhav for the glories of Krishna and Radharani. So we will just sing Jai Radha Madhav. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Vrindavan Chandra Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, भगवद गीता की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 4, verse number 4. And before starting verse, we will just do Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जलाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं साधुदूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते. तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी परमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छा कल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. So we are reading from 4, chapter number 4, verse number 4. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katyam etet vijaniyam tam adau proktavan iti. Word to word. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Aparam, junior, bhavata, your, janma, birth, param, superior, janma, birth, vivasvata, of the sun god, katham, how, etat, this, vijaniyam, shall I understand, tvam, you, ado, in the beginning, Proktavan instructed. Iti thus. Arjuna said, translation, Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord. So how could he not believe Krishna's words? The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who do not believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead or for the demons, who do not like the idea that Krishna should be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them only Arjuna inquires on this point, as if he were himself not aware of the personality of Godhead or Krishna, as it will be evident from the 10th chapter. Arjuna knew perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and the last world in transcendence. Of course, Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki on this earth. How Krishna remained the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eternal original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. Therefore, to clarify this point, Arjuna put this question before Krishna so that he himself could speak authoritatively. That Krishna is the supreme authority is accepted by the whole world not only at present but from time immemorial, and the demons alone reject him. Anyway, since Krishna is the authority accepted by all, Arjuna put this question before him in order that Krishna would describe himself without being dep- depicted by the demons, who always try to distort him in a way understandable to the demons and their followers. It is necessary that everyone for his own interest know the signs of Krishna. Therefore, when Krishna himself speaks about himself, it is auspicious for all the worlds. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint. But those who are devotees heartedly welcome the statements of Krishna when they are spoken by Krishna himself. The devotees will always worship such authoritative statements of Krishna because they are always eager to know more and more about him. The atheist who consider Krishna an ordinary man may in this way come to know that Krishna is superhuman, that he is Satchidanand Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, that he is transcendental and he is above the domination of the modes of material nature and above the influence of time and space. A devotee of Krishna like Arjuna is undoubtedly above any misunderstanding of the transcendental position of Krishna. Arjuna's putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt by the devotee to defy the atheistic attitude of person who considered Krishna to be an ordinary human being, subject to the modes of material nature. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, in text number 4, we can see that Arjuna again he is asking question to Krishna. We have seen in the previous verses. In the first verse, Bhagwan, it is mentioned that Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavahan Ahamabhyam Vivasvan Manve Prava Manur Ishvakve Brivit. So in that verse, Krishna he was saying that he has instructed this knowledge to to the sun god Vivasvan, and then Vivasvan he instructed that knowledge to Manu, the father of mankind, and then Manu he instructed that knowledge to Ishvaku. And now in this verse he is saying that Arjuna is saying the sun god Vivasvan is senior by birth. So like actually he is confused. He couldn't understand what Krishna wants to say because before, it means he's saying actually to Krishna that, okay Krishna, if you're saying that Vivaswan, you gave that knowledge to Vivaswan before, but now you're saying it means the Vivaswan came before you, so he's a senior from you, or you are junior from Vivaswan. But now you are in front of me, so we are contemplating together, and we are together here, and how you gave that knowledge to Vivaswan. So I am very confused. So for his confusion, actually he is asking Krishna, okay, can you please clarify this? That how you gave that knowledge to Vivaswan, because you are in front of me now and you are saying already you have given that knowledge to Vivaswan. So we know that Arjuna, he is a devotee of the Lord and he is a very good friend of Krishna. And he's asking this question not for himself. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is asking this question for ourselves. He is asking this question for the benefit for all the people in this universe. And he's saying that those, like, actually there are two different type of people are mentioned in this verse. Like, firstly, those they don't believe that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, atheist people. And secondly, the demons, they don't like the idea to know about Krishna. They don't want to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna, he wanted to know the reason why, like how the Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that he can show the atheist people and also the people who they don't believe in Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And actually, Arjuna, he told in 10th chapter as well. Like, we know that in 10th chapter, Arjuna said, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashwatam Devyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustam Rishya Sarve Devarshi Narad Sata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Cheva Vivishime. So we know that Arjuna knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, Param Brahma, you are the Supreme. Param Dhama, your abode is supreme. Pavitram, it's pure. Paramam Bhavam, Pursham, Shashwatam, you are eternal. You are the Purusha, you are the person. Divyam, you are transcendental. You are transcendental. Your qualities are transcendental. Your pastimes are transcendental. Your activities are transcendental. He knows, Arjuna, he knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In 10th chapter as well, he mentioned everything that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is saying that it is not that you said that you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, or it's not only me, I am saying that you are the God, but all the other rishis, all the other sages, all the other he has given the example of Vyasdev, Asito, Vyasa, Devla. So all the rishis and all the sages, they also said that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is mentioned in this verse that Krishna, he appeared from the womb of Devaki. But again, the birth of Krishna is not ordinary birth. Like, it is like, in material world, when a child is born, it is called, the child has been is got birth. But Krishna, he didn't get a birth. Krishna, he appears. He just got appearance from the womb of Devki. It's not that Krishna, he got the birth from Devki. So, and we know that how Krishna was, there is a big pastime that how Krishna was born. When Krishna was born, it is mentioned that he was holding he has a four-handed form. He was holding the chakra, gada, shanka, everything in his disc, and conch shell in his head. And also he was wearing the helmet. He was wearing the vest. He was not an ordinary child. So when an ordinary child, he is born, whenever he take a birth, what happens, he doesn't have, not only Krishna has everything. He was having his vest, he was having his helmet, he was having four-handed form. But the ordinary child, when he borns, he doesn't have a simple, not a single cloth on him. He's always, the child is always born naked. And here, when Krishna was born, he was having everything in his with him. And also, not only that, when as soon as he born or as soon as he appeared, he was just giving instructions. He just giving instructions to Devki Mata and Nand Maharaj. Sorry, Devki Mata and Vasudev. Okay, just he was telling them he was asking to them, or do you know that in your past life who were you, and I came as your son now, and can and then he was giving them the address. Okay, can you go and put me and take me to the Nand Maharaj's house, or the Yashoda Ma's house. So he was giving instructions to Vasudev. Okay, you just take me from here. So like he was it like can we imagine, like when a person or when a child is born, he doesn't speak like as Krishna was speaking. He doesn't say anything. Like when a child is born, he just only cry, cry, cry. And the all the other people around them, they don't know why the child is crying. They don't know whether he's hungry, whether he wants something, or whether he wants to say something. No, because he is ordinary child. But Krishna, he was giving instructions where as soon as he got birth, or as soon as he got appearance. So it means that is the difference between a living being, how they take birth, and how Krishna, he was appeared. That's why they it is called the Krishna was appeared. It's called appearance day. And for normally a person, it is called he took a birth. So that is the difference between a living entity's birth and Krishna's appearance. And also it is mentioned here that Arjuna wanted Krishna to speak all these words. Why? Because when a person speaks all these words himself, or Krishna, if he will speak all these words himself, it will become the authority. Like it is coming from an authority, is coming from a parampara. And if suppose if I want to say something about myself, I know everything about myself, I will say something. But then again, I can say something about my daughter or about my son as well. But Krishna, he knows the everything. Like he is the cause of all causes. He is the Ishvara. He is the Param person, supreme person. So he knows everything. So there is a difference between a living entity and Krishna. Krishna is having all the opulences. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So that's why Arjuna wanted Krishna to speak about himself, so that it will become an authority, and then people, they will follow it. Because what happens when the devotees, they hear something about Krishna's mouth, then they feel more happiness. They will have more faith on those things, that okay, Krishna is saying, because now the whole Bhagavad Gita was sung by Krishna. So that's why people, the devotees, they believe, okay, yes, this is our scripture, we have to follow this one because it is spoken by Krishna. So it becomes then it's become a authority. Okay, someone is saying this one, so we have to follow it. And when the devotees, they follow it, they follow with, like with all of their capacity, and they enjoy it. As soon as we hear Krishna's pastimes, we feel happy. We feel happy. And then, like, we can take example of Damodar month. In the month of Damodar, when we talk about the pastime of Krishna, how he stole the butter and all, how he got the punishment, we feel very happy. Like, every time there is a different taste. We get the, like, 30 days we speak that pastime, and not only 30 times, maybe 90 times we hear in one day. Sometimes we do 2 or 3 programs, and the same pastime goes into every day. In every program, the same pastime we repeat. And but we feel happy. We don't feel bored. Okay, don't worry about it, now we should read something else. No, it's Krishna's pastime, and they are very, very transcendental, and we feel happiness when we read and when we hear about it. And it is mentioned that Krishna's form is Satchidanand Vigraha. We know about Satchidanand Vigraha means it is full of bliss, it is eternal, and it is full of um, eternal form of full of bliss, knowledge, and um, eternal form of bliss, knowledge. It's a Satchidanand, and um, like whenever we hear about Krishna, we feel happiness. Whenever we look at Krishna's form, we feel happiness. When we talk about Krishna, we feel happiness. It is full of bliss. Like, that's why people sometimes, the non-devotees, they ask you, oh, like suppose you're in the office and you're doing your work and you feel happiness while chanting, you feel happiness. People, they ask you, how come you become so happy? What is the reason behind it? Because people, like, you're thinking about Krishna all the time, you're chanting Krishna's name all the time. The happiness comes from inside. So that is very important. As a devotees, we should always remember Krishna's form, or Krishna's pastimes, or Krishna's abode. Like, if when we are chanting, just hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna's name, then you feel happiness. And also it is mentioned that his Krishna's form is above from the mode of material nature. So his form is Krishna is above the mode of material nature, as also he is above the mode of time, and above the mode of space. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Kalo aham kalo asmi." I am the time. So Krishna is everything. Krishna, it is mentioned here that influence, he is above the influence of time and above the influence of space. And like, like sometimes, the non-devotees, they can't understand all these things unless you hear about Krishna. Like, some, suppose if you want to make a relationship with someone, so what do? You have to hear about him, you have to talk about him, you talk to him, and you want to know more and more about him. Then you will become his friend, or you can, you will have a love with him. So similarly, if we want to become Krishna's friend or Krishna's devotee, then what we should do, actually, we should hear about Krishna, we should learn about Krishna, we should read about Krishna, we should get knowledge about Krishna, so that we can become Krishna's friend. When we have this type of relationship with Krishna, then Krishna will also help us. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that aham sarvasya prabhu matah sarvam parvartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So Krishna is saying that aham sarvasya prabhu, that I am the supreme. Hmm? And Krishna gives us the knowledge, Krishna gives us the forgetfulness, Krishna gives us the intelligence. And if we follow Krishna, then Krishna will always help us. Krishna will always help us, and Krishna will always stay with us. And again, it is mentioned in the last line. He's saying that, it is why Arjuna wanted Krishna to speak this word. He said, because so that the people, they would know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And secondly, Arjuna wanted Krishna to speak so that the statement become authoritative. So if it, that's why Arjuna wanted Krishna to speak. So now we can see that in this verse, Arjuna, he wanted to clarify, okay, please tell me how you told everything to Vivaswan. And in the next verse, now Krishna is speaking. He is giving answer to this question. So we will go to the next verse, 4.5. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Bahuni me Vetitani Janmanani Janmani Tav Cha Arjuna Tane aham ved sarvani Natam vedat parantapaha. So Shri Bhagwan Vacha, word to word. Shri Bhagwan Vacha, the personality of Godhead, said, Bahuni, many, me of mine, Vetitani, have passed, Janmani, births, Tava, of yours, Cha, and also, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Tani, those, Aham, I, Veda, do know, Sarvani, all na, na note, Tvam, you, Vetha, no, Parantapa, O subduer of the enemy. Translation: the personality of God had said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Purport: in Brahm Samhita, we have information of many, many incarnations of the Lord. It is stated there Advaitamachyutamanadimanantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durbalamadurbalamatma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning, although expanded into unlimited forms. He is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all knowing forms of Lord are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure unalloyed devotees. It is also stated in Brahm Samhita रामादिमूर्तिषु कलनेमानतिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोद् भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं सम्भवत् परमापुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, who is always situated in various incarnations as Rama, Narsimha, and many sub incarnations as well. But who is the original personality of Godhead, known as Krishna, and who incarnates personally also? In Vedas also it is stated that the Lord, although one without a second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like a Vedurya stone, which changes color yet still remains one. All those multiforms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of the Vedas. Vedeshu Durbala Madurbala Atma Bhakto. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord. And whenever the Lord is incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees, and in this verse it is understood that some million of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna in a different capacity was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that Lord remembered the incident whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall that had happened in his various past births. Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be, material estimation can never equal the Supreme Lord. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita as infallible, Achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself even though he is in material contact. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects. Even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna, although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord, but by the divine grace of a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non-devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by demonic brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body, but the Lord remembers because remembers living entities forgets everything, but the Lord remembers because he does not change his Sachidanand body. He is Advaita, which means There is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from the material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from that of the ordinary living entity, even when he descends to the material platform. The demons cannot adjust themselves to the transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explained in the following verse. So now, actually now, before Arjuna, he asked a question that, can you please tell me how you have given that knowledge to Vivaswan? And here Arjuna, Krishna is actually giving answer to Arjuna's question. And he's saying that Bahuni me veti tani janmani tava Arjuna. He's saying that I have taken and you have taken many, many births. But I can remember everything, but you can't remember. O subduer of the enemy. So it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita, there is a very beautiful verse that Advitam Achyutam. So these are all the qualities of the Krishna. So he's a first he's saying Advaitam. Advaitam means absolute. Like Krishna is absolute person. Purana. Sorry, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. He is the original person, absolute. And Achyutam means infallible. He can never fall down. Anadim, he is without beginning. Anantarupam. Anantarupam means he has Anantarupam, different forms. Then Puranam, he is the oldest. And Adyam means he is the same original, like he never changes. But Krishna, he got only one form, he will stay same. Puranam, he is the oldest. And then he is saying Purusham, he is a person, and Nav Yovanam cha, and he is always, Nav Yovanam means he is always youthful. Vedeshu Durblam Adurblam Atum Bhakto. He's saying the scholar, the person who knows all the Vedas, it is very hard for him to understand about Krishna's forms as well. But again, he said, Govinda Madhipusham Tamham Pajami. So the qualities of Krishna is mentioned in this form, that Krishna is Purana, Krishna is absolute, he is infallible, he is without beginning. So all the qualities of Krishna is given in this verse. So to confirm that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, because like we know that Arjuna and Krishna, they like Krishna is saying that we have taken so many births before, so it means they came before as well together. But Krishna can remember everything, and Arjuna, he can't remember everything. And in this verse it is mentioned here that like Krishna has those qualities which Arjuna have, but not in that extent which Krishna have it. Like we know that it's a beautiful verse. What they say, Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is saying that in that verse it is mentioned that Krishna is the Bhagwan. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he has a blissful form. When the devotees, they see Krishna's form, they feel very happy. uh, have you ever seen that someone people, they go to temple and they came back by like they're crying, oh, Krishna is not looking nice today? Always whenever we go to Radha Gopinath's temple, we feel more like happiness when we see the form of Krishna. And uh, and it is said that Krishna is never old. He is always Nav Yovanamcha. He is always like as a youth. Always whenever you like you have never seen picture of a Krishna where Krishna is very old and having a stick in his hand. No, Krishna is always ever youth. And then in the next verse it is mentioned that in Brahma Samhita that verse comes, and he said Krishna has taken different types of incarnation. In Bhagavatam, Canto 1, chapter number 3, all the incarnations of Krishna is mentioned there very nicely, like how Krishna came as a Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar, Ram avatar, and also like a Parshuram or Buddha avatar. So all the incarnations are mentioned in the in Bhagavatam very nicely. And Krishna has come into different types of incarnation. But now the question can come, like, no, why Krishna has came into different type of incarnation. So that will be answered in the next few verses as well, like why Krishna appeared in that why Krishna has to appear onto this material world. But whenever Krishna appears to this earth, he came always with his concert. He always comes with Radharani. Once when Krishna asked Radharani, okay, we have to go to do the pastime on the earth, then Radharani said, okay, I will come with you, but there is a condition, like you have to take river Yamuna with us, and also Govardhan. So then Krishna arranged how Govardhan Parvat to come to this material world, and how, he asked Yamuna Devi to come and stay with them. So whenever Krishna comes to in this material world, he always comes with all of his companions. He brings all the gopis, all the gopas. He brings all the demigods, also comes with in different forms to perform their pastime. And it is not that only Krishna is coming, he brings his own family as well, like the Vasudev or Yashoda Maya, also his brother Balram. So all he brings all of his family members, all of his gopas, all of his gopis, all rivers, the mountains, everything he brings from Golok Vrindavan to this material Vrindavan. So when he performed his pastime, he brings everything with himself. And also it is mentioned here that that difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that Lord remembered everything and Arjuna could not remember. So why Arjuna he can't remember? Because Arjuna's memories is very less and Krishna's memory is very powerful. Like, it's a like a because he remembers all. He's a Trikal Darshi. It is said that Krishna is Trikal Darshi. Trikal Darshi means he remember the past, he remember the present, and he knows what is going to be happen in future. So we can take example of Sudama. When once what happened, Sudama and Krishna, they were playing, and they were sitting on a tree, and then Krishna said, "Oh, I am feeling hungry," and then Sudama said, "Okay, I have some puffed rice. If you want, you can have it." And then he gave some rice to Krishna, and Krishna ate it, and then he was feeling satisfied. And then at that time, Krishna told Sudama, whenever you need a, like, you will be need me, I will help you at that time. And after that, what when Krishna he become a king, and then he remembered Sudama. It was not that, okay, like my work is done, so I forget everything. No, he remembered Sudama, and when Sudama he came to Dwarka, and at that time it is said that Krishna he was having his food with his queens, and they were serving Krishna with nice prasadam. And at that time, when the Dwarpal he came and he said, "Oh, one of your friends Sudama has came," then at that time Krishna he just ran. He forget about the food, forget about his pitambar. He just rang. He said that the cloth of his on his shoulder was on the floor, and he forgot to wear the shoes, and he just ran to see the Sudama. So because he remembered Sudama, that he is my friend. Because now, if you imagine, like, in this material world, now if someone helps you or you help someone, and at the time once you become a king, suppose you are a king and someone comes to ask, like, small things, if someone comes and asks you, and then you forget, oh, who are you, like, we can say, oh, I don't know you, who are you, like, this is the uh, I will say, like, the people in a material world is like that. They don't want to help anyone, or very rare people they help each other. But Krishna, he remembered that Arjun Sudama had given me the small the puffed rice, the quantity of puffed rice, and how much he gave to Sudama in return. We all know that, he gave him a palace where, like, when he came back and then he saw, this is not my house. Maybe I have come to the wrong house. But it was all Krishna's mercy. He gave him everything, whatever he needed. So Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he knows, like, whoever is lacking what. That's what in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, that I preserve whatever you have and I give you whatever you lack. So Krishna is there to help all of us. And again, it is mentioned in the verse that Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, and he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord. But the divine grace of a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord. And Krishna is infallible, he will never fall down. And also, it is said that, Krishna, again, it is mentioned in this verse that Krishna has Sachidanand form. Actually, 4.5, 4.6, these verses, 4.4, they are all similar verses. Everywhere it is mentioned about Krishna's form, how is his Advaita, how is his infallible, and how is his Sachidanand form. And we know that Krishna says that, okay, I will remember you. Like, sometimes people, they say, at the time of death, maybe, I can't remember you. But Krishna, he says, there is a beautiful verse. He said, Kaf vatadi doshe na mad bhakto na cha me samrit tasya samrati aham no ched kritano nasti vatapara. So it said, at the time of the death, due to the cough, or maybe there is a blockage in our windpipe, then if the devotees, they are unable to remember, then Krishna says, I myself will think about you. And if I don't do so, then no one else can be considered to be more ungrateful than me. That was Krishna is saying. Like, he's saying that if I can't help you, then I will feel ungrateful. So now we should think, like, where we are going. Like, Krishna is always there to help us. And Krishna's, like, there is no difference between Krishna's body, Krishna's mind, or Krishna's soul. It's only one. There is no difference. But with our material body, or maybe and living entities, they have different. Everyone has different mind, different body, different soul. But Krishna has. There is no difference between Krishna's body, mind, or soul. And it is said that, they're saying that, okay, Krishna and Arjuna, they were together. But if I will take one example, like, suppose there is a king, and he's sitting on a throne, and on the same throne there is a bug as well, like a bug. So the king's work is to rule, to look after the all his praja, and to help them, and to give them the food, to satisfy their requirements, or satisfy their desires of their kingsmen. But the bug, what he will do? What is his duty? Bug's duty is only to bite, so he will only bite. So here, like, so Krishna's sorry, Krishna is full of opulences. We know that Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam, like, he is full of six opulences, like he's of strength wise, wealth wise, and then he's famous, all renunciation. So everything, he is full. But Arjuna, he has all those qualities, but in some part. But that's why Arjuna could not remember everything, but Krishna had knew everything. That's what he said, that I remember everything and you can't remember all those things. So everything in relation to him is whatever is there, whereas the conditioned soul is different from the material body. So that is the difference between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna has no difference between body, mind, and soul, but Arjuna have it. And also it is mentioned here, the his position is always different from that of ordinary living entity, even when he descends onto the material platform, whether he comes to this material world. But again, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. you we can't compare ourselves or Arjuna to him. The demons cannot adjust themselves to the transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explained the following verse. Again, Krishna is going to clarify in the next verse. So we will just read next verse, verse number 4.6. Ajopi san aveyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakatim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atmayaya. So word to word, Aja, unborn, Api, although, Son, being, so, Avya, Avya, without deterioration, Atma, body, Bhutanam, of all those who were born, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Api, although, Son, being, so, being so, Praktin in transcendental form, Swam of myself, Adhisthaya, being so situated, Sambhavami, I do incarnate, Atma Mayaya, by my internal energy. Translation. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So it's a big purport. So we will just take some lines here and there, and we will just read while we go. So in this verse, it is mentioned that we will read the translation again. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So here Krishna is saying that firstly he say Ajo. Ajo means unborn. He is unborn. Then Sanvayatma, own nature, or Vyatma means never deteriorates. Then Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. Bhutanam means all the living entities. Ishwaropisan, he is the controller of all. So we can see that here Krishna is saying again, Krishna is again emphasizing on the point. Actually, he's talking about the tattva about himself. Like it's a like he's talking about himself that okay, I am unborn, I am never deteriorates, I am the controller of all living entities. So again, if the person who is unborn, who is never deteriorates, who is the controller of everything, controller of all the living entities, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is mentioned here, we will read few lines here. So the Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth, like he is telling about his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers of his many past births, as we have seen in the previous verse. Whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done. Like we can take example of ourselves. Like we don't know, for myself, like I'm just telling about myself. I don't know what I ate yesterday at this time, what I was doing yesterday at this time, or what I am going to, what is going to happen. Like, Krishna knows past, present, and future, everything, but we don't know. So that is the difference between a living entity and Krishna himself. Whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult. This is a common problem for everyone. So, so again, in the after that is said that the Lord explains his prakriti or his form. What prakriti means nature, as well as his savrupa, like how Krishna appears in this material world by his own form. Like for the living entities, how the person takes birth, it is a forced birth, or we take birth because of our karmas. Whatever karmas we do, according to that we got the next birth. But for Krishna, there is he takes his birth according to his own potency. He takes his birth according to his own will. It's not that, okay, Krishna, you have to do this karma, then you can go to the earth. No, Krishna appears according to his own will. That is the meaning of Prakriti. And in the material world, the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another body. We know in second chapter we have read, Dahinosmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra namoheti. So we have seen that how a person takes a birth. Firstly, he takes a birth, then he becomes little bit, becomes a child, then youth, then goes to young age, then he becomes old, then he again uh, uh, deteriorates and finish. So, but for Krishna, this principle does not apply for Krishna. Krishna can come with his own will, like we know the example of Hiranyakashipu. In the pastime of Hiranyakashipu, when he wanted to kill Hiranyakashipu, Krishna came from a pillar and in the form of Narsingh Bhagwan, and he killed Hiranyakashipu in that form. So it's like it was his will to come from that pillar, and kill Hiranyakashipu. So similarly, it is mentioned here that the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so the same original body by his eternal potency. So every time, we it is mentioned in scriptures, that 84 lakh yoniya, there are 84 lakhs of species, and we take birth from one body to another body, and then at the end, if we have done good karmas, then you get the body of a human form. But for Krishna, these things does not matter. He can come from anywhere, everywhere, because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And then he said, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form with two hands holding a flute. Sometimes people they ask you a question like, what is the form of Krishna? So there is an answer now. Krishna, he comes with with two hands and holding a flute. That is very, very important. And he appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by the material world. So he comes in, his body is transcendental, we can say. Also, he never gets old. That is very important. It is mentioned here that Krishna, he never grows old like us. That is very important. He always stays young, like in the age of 20 or 25 years of old. So we have never seen a picture of Krishna where Krishna is an old man. Always he is young. And also, as a devotee, whenever we see a peacock, a feather or a flute, we always think, oh, this is for Krishna, or this is Krishna's picture. Maybe sometimes there is no Krishna, but only flute and a peacock feather is there, then we understand, okay, this is for Krishna. So this is also meant, and also in scriptures there are so many verses which is mentioned about Krishna's beauty, like or form of Krishna, like Smera and Bhangi, like how Krishna is bent from three places, from his legs and from his waist or from his hands. Also, we know that Varha, Pidam, Natvarvapu, Karniyo, Karnikaram, how Krishna he decorate his ears, how Krishna has always wear the Vajanti Mala, the flower of the garland of five flowers is called Vajanti Mala, and how he does he's a transcendental dancer. Like there are so many verses in Bhagavatam if they describe about the Krishna's appearance and Krishna's qualities. I think we should stop here and we can continue from verse number 6 onwards next week. Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Srimad भगवत गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय
गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि
हरे
बोल,
जय
हरे कृष्ण.
हरे
Thank you for
कृष्ण
joining.
सेव्या राधिका माता जी की जय.
जय
जय
हरे कृष्ण
गौर बृंद की जय, हरे कृष्ण. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.